again, even though it's not, you know, literally, okay, metaphorically, okay. So anyway, Moses' punishment for disobedience, pride, and misinterpretation of Christ's sacrifice, okay, was steep, and he was barred from entering the promised land. Yet we do not see Moses complain actually about this punishment, okay. Instead, he continues to faithfully lead the people, okay, as far as he's allowed to do it, and still honor God. So in his holiness, God is also compassionate, okay. He invited Moses up, okay, to the Mount Nebo, where he showed his beloved prophet, okay, the promised land, before his subsequent death, okay. Now in Deuteronomy 34, 4 and 5, it records, then the Lord said to him, this is the land I promised an oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when I said I will give it to your descendants. I have let you see it with your eyes, but you will not cross over into it. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in Moab, as the Lord had said. And Moses' failure at the rock did not negate or break his relationship with God. God continued to use the prophet and continued to love him with tenderness. Now, before I go on to Christianity.com and their take on interpretation of this particular biblical happening with Moses not entering the promised land, this last part for me reminds me of the relationship that you have with your children, okay? You still love them, okay? And that will never change, but then there are things that take place when you are raising them and rearing them, and when you are basically disciplining them, okay? Just because you discipline them and tell them what's right from wrong, and like we say, for all actions, there are reactions, cause and effect, okay? So you do something, okay, and there are consequences. It doesn't mean that you hate them. It doesn't mean you don't love them, okay? It means just what I just said, okay? And that there's a lack of it today, okay? There's not just, let's even take it a step further, but let me finish my comment. With your children, okay? There's a lack of it. And a lot of people have noticed, and a lot of people are making comments about people not raising their children anymore, disciplining their children. Of course, at its core, it goes back to the Bible, okay? Spare the rod, spoil the child, okay? That goes back to the Bible. As fictional or mythical that people may feel about the Bible, or how old and dusty, full of cobwebs that the Bible is, it is still relevant today. This is why a lot of stuff is happening. Okay, let's take it even further than that. When you look on the news and you look at people, there are no consequences really. People are committing heinous, okay, from the let me start with the very smallest to the most heinous crimes. And it seems as if there is not really, okay, what we're talking about, consequences. Okay, you'll look at someone and they'll commit a crime, and it will appear on the surface they may or may not apprehend the people, but then in a lot of cases they let them go. Okay, for some very serious things. It's like everything is mayhem and it's just all over the joint. So it has spread out from just we're not raising our children to it's just people are just doing whatever they want under the guise that we actually got you, and we're going to, endorse these and reinforce these laws, okay, that we have. But if you're really looking and really discerning, they're really not, okay? People are getting away with, like I said, literally with murder, okay? They're doing any and everything. There is no regard for any type of authority, okay? And it is, when you look at it, when you look at it, it's designed for that. Okay, even though you have people, and let's agree to disagree. People will say when you voted for certain people, and I hear what you're saying, is that you voted for that. I'm gonna here to tell you, no, I didn't vote for that, because then you find out that they passed laws that are like insane. Okay, people getting away with it's mind-blowing. Every day I should be used to it, but I'm not. I see the most insane things happening, and then people will say, you voted for that. No, I did not vote for that. Okay, they're doing it under the guise that you voted for that, but no, I didn't vote for people to get away with literal murder. I didn't vote for that. Maybe somebody out there voted for that, but I didn't vote for that. Alright, so now we're at Christianity.com, and it's the same question. Why was Moses not allowed to enter the promised land? So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go down to, let's see. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to go through the passage or paragraphs before I get to the importance of the rock. Okay, God told Moses to speak to the rock, and Moses struck the rock twice. Based on Moses' actions, his frustration with these people, they said, had reached a boiling point. He had enough. Because of Moses' disobedience and lack of trust in God, the Lord told him, you would not lead these people into the promised land. Now, the practical reason that Moses was not allowed into the promised land was disobedience. However, there was also a deeper symbolism to his actions, of which they say here that he himself was completely unaware. That symbolism would remain hidden. They said remain hidden for another 1,300 years. But once revealed, it helps you, and I guess me, understand why God made this decision. So in the previous one, forgotquestions.org, they didn't kind of word it that way, but the fact that they pointed out that Moses did not stop doing what he was doing, and he continued to do what God asked him. He didn't argue it or resent it or do something else as a reaction to it. He just, it showed that he accepted it. Okay. But here they're saying, giving the feeling to it that he was unaware of what really happened. He was completely unaware, even though he was actively in it, and that it would take all of these years for it to be revealed. Okay, and revealed to us. So let's find out what was actually revealed. It says the importance of the rock. The reason Moses was not allowed to enter the promised land all had to do with the rock and what it symbolized. Okay, so they're going to talk about Christ. Okay, so the rock Moses struck is a type of Christ, something that foreshadows or prophesies his coming. Types of Christ, as they say, can range from Old Testament people fulfilling Christ-like roles to Old Testament objects that communicate attributes that Christ would fulfill. Okay, so it says what the type communicated would not become clear until Jesus appeared. Now, the Apostle Paul spells out how this rock foreshadowed Christ in his first letter to the Corinthians at 1 Corinthians 10:3-4. They all ate the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank from the spiritual rock that accompanied them, and that rock was Christ. Okay, so they said, let's put the pieces together. Let's do it. Okay, so the first rock Moses struck in Exodus 17 was the first time the Israelites were in the place without water.